Wednesday, 20th of September. I think Nigel Farage done a tweet today, I think, saying that GB News has now beat all the others for a whole day. You know, BBC, Sky News, ITV, Channel 4. And it's no surprise to me, really. I'm really glad that GB News is there. I think it's not as good now, GB News, but it's still the best by a long way. I liked it when they had unknown people, really, unknown presenters, and they didn't tend to give both sides of the story, because I think that's a waste of time, really, you know, because now we're getting a sort of lot of lefties on as guests on that Benjamin Butterworth, or whatever his name is, I don't know. But it's just a waste of time, really. But anyway, yeah, GB News, yeah, I'm not surprised, really. It's just hit that sweet spot, you know, like Fox News is a bit wacky. I'm talking about USA. It's a bit wacky, they had Tucker Carlson and that. And but then on the other side, MSNBC, which I used to watch a lot on YouTube. I couldn't watch it now. But mainly to see what was during the Trump years. Just to see what was going on. I mean, I'm no Trump fan or anything like that, but I understand why you get elected and stuff, but you just get elected as an anti-vote, really, in my opinion. You know, because our political systems don't work. As I said before, we need the Swiss type where we get referendums each quarter or sooner, you know, on big issues, like in Switzerland, and proportional representation, and it's just got to be a lot like that, you know. The systems we've got are archaic, really, in Britain and America and that. But anyway, GB News, I'm really glad it's the top. I'm not surprised at all. My favourite's Patrick Christie's, you know. A lot would say Nigel Farage or Jacob Rees-Mogg. I mean, I watch bits of Nigel Farage on YouTube. I don't really watch Jacob Rees-Mogg because I just find him a bit of a joke, really. You know, I don't know, it's like something out of these the old cartoon novels or whatever, I don't know, Ask Jeeves or whatever, or Jeeves and Wooster or whatever it was. I don't really find him of much thing at all, but I'm glad he's there because hopefully he'll manage to take people away from Labour and SNP and that, because they're all wacky now, you know. I voted for independence in 2014, but now I see what's happening. I could never vote left, you know. And as I say, it's because you're voting for party hampers, you're not voting on single issues. I mean, there's a lot of left things that I still agree with. I mean, I would regard myself as centre-left, but there's just one thing I could say that's it's a total disaster for the country and the West. And the left seem to be wanting it to happen sooner than rather than later. Well, sooner than the Tories, really, you know. So, yeah. So I don't agree with any party at all, really, you know. I agree with referendum things. I've heard some countries are going to start doing referendums recently on a big issue, and I agree with that, you know. I think Poland, even France are starting to talk about it now. Yeah, so I'm really glad that GB News is the best. Patrick Christie's is my favourite, although I don't even really watch him now either, but I do. If I do listen to news or whatever, it's GB News I listen to. I mean, Nigel Farage is an odd character as well, but I'm glad he's there as well to kick the door down on anti-free speech, you know, which is basically what's happened. You know, we live almost in a Stasi society now. I think we've got hate crimes in Scotland, and they're bringing it down in England as well. I don't know, you've not to say things at your dinner table or whatever, you could be reported. So anyway, I'm really glad that GB News is doing so well. Yeah, because what happened, well, Andrew Neil brought in a lot of young people, and I'm no fan of Andrew Neil either, but I liked all the people. They weren't all young, actually. But then he left, but then they started bringing in others, and then they get a big round of funding, and they brought in all these quote celebrity journalists, you know, like Camilla Tominey and Michael Portillo. I mean, I just find them all totally boring. You know, Andrew Pierce. I find them unwatchable. They've got that old Sky guy, midday. Patrick Christie's at 3, thank goodness. Michelle Dewberry survived, but I don't like her show much, really. I had high hopes for her, but it wasn't to be. I'm glad Farage and Rees-Mogg are there just to get the voters in, but I don't really watch them much. The comedy show, I think the comedy show is quite good, you know. I'm a big fan of that Leo Kerrs, the Scottish guy. Yeah, I watch his YouTube stuff. Yeah, but mostly, so GB News has got a bit boring. It's lost its way. It started bringing in lefties for stroke quote balance. I think they've even brought in that Ali Bastani and people like that, you know, just a waste of time, really, from Novara Media. I'm glad Novara Media's here, but it's just unbearable, you know. I mean, I used to watch bits of it just because it's people talking politics, but I mean, I still watch Owen Jones a bit just to see what's happening on that side, but really they're all lost, really. So, yeah, that's my views on GB News. I'm really glad it's the top, and yeah, because all the other channels like Sky and that, I mean, to me they're unwatchable, they're news channels now. They're sort of unbearable. So, yeah, I can't watch any of them at all, BBC or ITV. I watched Scotland news for a long time, but I've even drifted away from that. STV News, basically. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Alright.